Welcome to Meshery. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for wanting to contribute to Meshery. I'm going to hold your hand and guide you through to making your first open source contribution. After watching this video, you will be confident enough to dive into Meshery, take a look at the open issues, and tackle any one of it that seems interesting to you. Are you excited? Let's get started. So the first thing you have to do is to navigate to this web address, https://github.com/layer5io/meshery. Once you're here, you have different panes. I'm assuming that this is not your first time of using GitHub, but if it is, let know in the comment section, then we can arrange to make a video on an introduction to GitHub. So anyways, what you have to do is to come here to the issues pane. Issues simply means that, okay, people have used Meshery and here are some of the issues that we found out, because the aim of open source is to make the project even better. So you can help us by looking at an open issue and help us tackle it. That's the kind of help that we require from you. So just click on the issues pane right here and see a list. Right now we have about 93 open issues, which is cool. You are definitely going to find something for you. So when you get to the issues, you see that there are different labels assigned to different issues. So the labels give you an idea of which of these issues will be easy for you to get started with. You should be especially noticeable of issues that have labels of first timers only, or good first issue, or help wanted. These are specifically aimed towards first timers. However, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be working on this particular issue. So let's click on it. The issue is related to docs, as you can see here, and the title of the issue is Remove Fast Sort from Meshery Functionality Page. The issue number is 1561. I've already been assigned the issue, as you can see here. Now, the first step to a successful contribution in open source is by being transparent. We want to make sure that everybody knows what is being done. So I could come here right now, since I've been assigned. You could just say something like, Lee is the one who opened the issue. So you could say something like, okay, at Lee, that means I'm tagging him. I am working on this. Oh, sorry, on this. Okay, then make a comment. So by making such comments, it not only confirms that you've seen that you are assigned to this issue and that you're working on it, it also enforces collaborative work, because that's what open source is all about, being transparent, working along with others. So having done that, it's time for me to move ahead to this issue. So let's take a look at some more information that we have. So here, I'm told that the current state is that the Meshery functionality page has the collection of Meshery features listed in reverse alphabetical order, and that is unnecessary. That simply means that instead of the features to be listed from A to Z, it's been listed from Z to A, and we don't want that. So what is the desired state? The desired state is that the Meshery functionality page should be listed in alphabetical order. Good. So now that we know where we're coming from and where we're going, let's look at the resources. So issue resources, this simply gives you some resources to help you deal or tackle with the issue effectively. So the first one is the documentation page. Let me open this link in a new tab and see what it's about. So basically, this is the page that we're trying to upgrade, and you can see here that these are the features, and S should be before P in the normal A to Z, but in this case you see that it's opposite. So the desired state is that life cycle, which is L, should be on top, followed by P, performance management, before we have S. Now, what other resource do we have? This is the code. Let me open it in a new tab just so we see where we're going. Okay, so here's the code, and great. So this was the code that produced that, and it kind of says assign sorted functionality, look at the different pages for the site, then sort it according to functionality in the reverse order. So basically all I need to do here is to just remove this reverse. So once the reverse is not there, it just sorts it the normal way it would, which is from A to Z. Good. So we know what we're doing now. So what do we have to do? If I go back here to the Meshery repo, just before we go to issues, I would see that Down here, if I scroll to the bottom, you have a documentation which kind of explains how you should make your contribution. What is it? Yeah, contributing. Yay, we are so excited to have you. So you should try to read through this Meshery contributions welcome guide. After that, let's open the general contributing and see what exactly that is. Steps to general contributing. So there are lots of things you need to take note of. You have to sign off commits. You have to fork this repository before you make changes to it. But instead of us just make sure to read this once you're done with the video, but I'll just show you exactly how it's done. So the first thing you need to do is to click on the fork button right here, this one. So forking the repository means that you are creating a copy of this repository to your own personal account, and in that way you can make changes without affecting the original code just yet, because we would later need to affect it when we want to bring in our changes into the original project. But for now, just forking the repo gives you access to do whatever you want with this project. I already have a fork of the project, so if I click on fork, it's telling me that I've already forked Meshery, so I'm not going to do that again. All I just do is come to my own personal account over here. So let's do that. Let me look at my repositories and look for the one with Meshery. Repositories, search Meshery. Great, so it's right here. So if I click on that, you see that I have this info telling me that this repository was forked from the original repo. Now let me just open up the original repo here. I want to show you something. So now that I have the fork of the repo, what I need to do now is to open this repository in my editor of choice so that I can make changes, just so you see. And I can do that by clicking on this little code button. Now I can either clone the repo, I have it cloned already, or I can open with GitHub Desktop. So let me open with GitHub Desktop just so you see. If you don't have GitHub Desktop, make sure to download it. So GitHub Desktop is how do I put it now? It's just an easier to understand way. If this is your first time using Git and GitHub, it can be quite technical how Git and GitHub works. So GitHub Desktop just provides a kind of simpler, easier to use interface for you to work with repositories, projects, and everything like that. So if you don't have GitHub Desktop downloaded before, make sure you download that and open with it. Well, I already have. Okay, great. So it's opening it up with GitHub Desktop. Let's close this. Close this. Okay, so GitHub Desktop is opened right now, and as you can see, the current repository is Meshery. So the next thing I need to do is to open up Meshery in my Visual Studio Code. That's my editor of choice. Let's do that. Click on the open in Visual Studio Code. Oh, hold on a few minutes. Open in Visual Studio Code. Okay. So it's opening up. Let's give it a few minutes to do that. While that's opening up, let me show you the next thing. So now that I've successfully cloned the repo, I opened back the original project just to show you a few things. Now the issue we said we're tackling is issue what? Hold on, this is taking a few minutes. Okay, so we are tackling this issue. And this issue is 1561. This issue number is going to help us with creating a branch name. So let me just copy that. Let's see if this is open. Great. So this is open now. So this is the entire, right here on the left, this is the entire Meshery project. So let me just close all the open panes. Close this, close this, close this. So as you might have noticed right here, if you look at the integrated terminal, I'm currently in, this is the path on my computer, on my system, where I have the cloned copy of my fork here, and I'm on this branch. So a branch is, every project has a main branch which is called the master branch, and the master branch is supposed to hold the entire project. So when you're doing open source, just so that we have the project organized, and if somebody makes a mistake while trying to contribute, since he's not contributing directly to the master branch, like, it's better for you to create a new branch and make your changes in there so that it can be carefully reviewed and make sure that there are no errors before it is merged into the master branch. So right now I'm on the current/doc/1489 branch, which was what I used to make certain changes before. We're not going to use that now. So what I have to do is to create a new branch. So I'll call it git checkout -b. This is the way you create a new branch. Now, we don't really have any particular conventions for creating a branch name, but I've kind of found it helpful to create it as such. My name, current slash the area or the label, in this case docs, slash the issue number, and I copied that. So the branch is called current/doc/1561. So just enter. Great. So it has now switched to this new branch. Now it's time to make our changes. Let's go back here and see. So we need to change the code here, right? We need to change the code here. And as you can see from this URL, it kind of tells you where the changes are. Look for a docs folder. In there, look for a pages folder. Then look for functionality folder. Then in there, you should see a file name index.md. So docs, pages, functionality, index.md. So let's go here. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so this is the docs folder right here. Let's see if we can get the pages. Yeah, here, pages. Inside the pages, the functionality here, and in there we have index.md. You see the way we kind of went from top to bottom? Great. And you can see that everything we have here is exactly what we have right here. So that means we're right. Great. So I have to come here and say for item inserted functionality, where is it? Okay, here. Assign sorted functionality. If site.pages exist, then sort the functionality in the reverse order. So all I really need to do here is just remove this line. Just remove that, and we're good. And we're good to go. Now, the issue that you might work on might be very different from this, but feel free to ask questions. That place where I made the comment, feel free to post your questions. I want to work on this, but I'm not particularly sure what I need to do. But for this, for the purposes of this video, we're good to go. So now here I have to run the git status. This just shows me if any file has changed and what exactly has changed. The git status you see here tells you that this file has been modified. So I need to stage that change. So I do git add period sign. That means just add all the facts that have changed, and in this case it's just a single file. So if I run git status one more time, you see that what was in red is now in green, which means this file has been staged. So now I need to run git commit -s-m, then my commit message. So commit message is the description of what was changed. So here let me just say removed reverse order from what was it here? Let's check. Removed reversed order from Meshery functionality page. So let's just write it like that. Meshery functionality page. Great. Now I do git push origin my branch, which is current slash docs slash hash 1561. Great. Let's push our changes to my own copy of the repo, which is the forked repo. So let's push the changes. Let's wait for some minutes for that to work. It's going to work, and I'll just give it a few minutes. So while that is working, let me just quickly explain what I mean by, you see right here I wrote git commit, it's done, but let me just explain. Right here I wrote git commit -s-m. So the m part is the commit message, but this -s, Meshery requires that for each change that you make, you sign off your commit. So sign off. When you're done with this video, you should go back to the contributing section and see everything that you need to do. But basically, sign off means you're acknowledging that this change, I made it. You know, the person who made the change should accept that he made those changes. So that's what a sign off is. So it's based on the developer certificate of origin and some other things. You can read about that later. But anyways, we've successfully pushed our changes to that branch. So now, since we're using GitHub Desktop, if I open GitHub Desktop back, you'd see that there are a few one minute. Okay, so the current branch current slash doc slash 1561 hasn't been published to remote yet. By publishing it to GitHub, you can share it, open a pull request, and collaborate with others. So let's publish the branch. So publishing the branch simply means that this new branch, this one that we created earlier, the repository online has no idea of this branch, but we want to publish it so that it knows that there's a certain branch called this blah blah blah. Great. So now we want to create a pull request. Let's create a pull request, then I'll explain what exactly a pull request is. So it's going to automatically open up our browser back to where we need to create a pull request. Great. So it opens up this page. Now remember that I said earlier that when you created the fork, earlier when we clicked on this fork button, I said that creates a copy of the original project, which is layer 5/io layer 5io/Meshery. Now that we've made our changes, we created a branch to make our changes. Basically, what we want to do is not just have, because the changes right now are only present in the fork of the repo that we made, that's in our own personal account, but we want those changes to reflect also in the original project, which is Meshery. So to do that, you need to make a pull request. So a pull request is you saying, oh, maintainers of the original project have made a change, right? Can you please review it and add it to the original project? So you make a pull request. So right now, here's here's how the pull request works. I'm making a pull request from my own account, which is my own fork of the original repo, which is current ephemeria/Meshery, and I'm comparing this branch, which is current/doc/1561. I want to merge that into base master of the original repo, which is layer 5io/Meshery.